I'm Lady T506. Welcome to my channel. Hello everyone's. I am here for Manifest Season 1 Episode 7. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm going a little rant. And I apologize in advance because it is cold outside and I have to put a heater in my recording room or I'm gonna freeze. And y'all don't want y'all girl to freeze, do y'all? See, no, I didn't think so. So if y'all hear noise in the background, I apologize. I know last week I did a lot of complaining about the weather, but that was more so much that I want November weather to feel like November weather. Like I shouldn't be able to wear capris and a t-shirt last week. So I guess the weather showed me because on Wednesday night it was nice and pleasant. I wake up Thursday morning and I needed a jacket on, as well as since then. So I apologize if you hear my heater, and I know I was complaining last week and look where that got me. So anyway, back to the review. So we're on the flight and this woman is complaining because she missed her last flight, and some other woman comes up, which I really side-eye her like, what does this mean? What are you talking about? She's like, the flight is not happening to you, it's happening for you. I was like, okay, that was a little bit cryptic. It's just like, if that was the case, I wouldn't have been bumped from my original flight. And the original lady that was like, I was side-eyeing, and she said, yeah, you are here. We are now all in this together. I'm like, what do you mean we're all in this together? Like, do you know what's going on? Do you know what was going to happen to the plane beforehand? Because the words you were saying is making me believe that you knew that the plane was going to disappear for 5 years and then pop back up. Like, it is not a coincidence that you are saying these things to me. This is what I was getting like, what exactly do you know? Because she's talking to the woman, and I believe she was the woman who, the lady that's complaining, she and her husband were slumlords, and once she came back after 5 years, she no longer wanted to be a slumlord. That's who she looked like, but I could be wrong. So Cal says he is scared because he knows something's going to happen to Marko and himself. He already knows, it's like, I can feel like something is happening, and he wants to go home. He's already better now because they're no longer experimenting on Marko at this time. So we have to race against time to figure out where Marko is so we can help Cal, because once they start experimenting on Marko again, Cal is going to, feel all the effects. But I was wondering, is it like vice versa? Since Cal can feel everything that's happening to Marko, can Marko feel everything that's happening to Cal? I'm not really sure, but I'm really enjoying the show, you guys. And it seems like I'm getting a few views, and I guess a few people are interested in what I have to say. But like Cal, he senses like something as bad is going to happen. It's going to happen to Marko and essentially to me too. So, we're in a race against time, because if they start experimenting on Marko again, we're going to be back to square one with Cal having fevers and twitching and them thinking it's his cancer, and only Michaela, Sanji, and Ben and Cal know this isn't the cancer, this is because of the plane and essentially what these people are doing to Marko. So the barn where they were holding all the people they've been experimenting on, the barn has been torn down, all evidence has been burned, pushed away and everything, except for that band-aid where Vance had saw earlier, or last episode. He's like, okay, I know something is going on here because this random band-aid look like it's hospital grade, like what's going on. So in order to find Marko, we need to follow the money. So apparently Unified Dynastic System is hiring. So Ben was like, okay, I'm going to go there, get an entry-level job so I can, see what's going on from the inside. Like, okay, I'm going to infiltrate what's going on there. I'm going to go, work there. When I'm working there, but I'm really trying to figure out what's going on and where Marko's at. Even though he's overqualified for this job, when he gets there, he's like, you know what? I'm just trying to get this entry-level job, work up in the sources, look into some things. Y'all know how I do. Well, he didn't say that, but I'm paraphrasing. I was like, okay, Ben. I was like, I don't know how the people who have Marko are going to feel about another passenger that was on a plane working for them. But I'm hoping they find Marko so they can just stop screaming on them. I just feel some type of way, like you're using these people, experimenting them on them, like they're going through all this pain because you want some data. Ben is dealing with Olive still being connected and still hanging around with Danny. That was her dad, basically why Ben and Cal and Michaela were gone. Like, this man became the dad, and now that Ben is back, like, she still like, I just can't be like, Danny, my daddy's home, so I don't really want to have time for you. She still wants to hang out with him, and they had been doing rock climbing because rock climbing was like therapeutic for her once she got off of her antidepressants, and she wanted to continue on doing that. But she's feeling bad now that Ben is back, and like, okay, how do I not hurt my dad, Ben's feelings, because I want to hang out with Danny, because Danny's been this dad for me. So at one point she was like, she wanted to quit. Danny was like, no, I'm going to be here tomorrow if you want to. I'm still here for you. Ben is trying to encourage her, like, don't quit with, rock climbing. If this is what you want to do, don't quit. So she goes back and she tells Daddy, she was never interested in rock climbing. She just wanted to hang out with him. Like, he was my dad. I just wanted to do that. It was never about, I wanted to do this. But, now I really want to, I think it was Acadia Mountain. There's Acadia something. Like, that is her goal. I'm going to train and I'm going to push myself. And I am going to climb this mountain. So Ben got the job, and like a lot of people there was like, ooh, he was one of the passengers on the flight, whatever it was. So he's using his popularity, his stardom, if you will, to get access to the computer and finds one of the passengers, Fiona Clark, the lady that was saying how this is not happening to you, it's happening to us. She was on the plane, and she's working with whoever is responsible for the missing people. She had a career in neuropsychology and ended up being blackballed in her field because she had this fringe belief that our brains can sync up to one another. Now, like, I guess, her theory was true because Cal and Marko are synced up in some sort of way. So, after she got blackballed, she shifted to a spiritual circle, and she blew up online. She's been writing books and doing lectures. So in order to find out where Marko is, we need to go to her, because if this woman who was on the plane with us is responsible for like these people who didn't have family or who weren't from America disappearing, you a low down dirty dog. Plain and simple. Michaela and Jared, they come upon a scene where this barber, he has been shot, he's been shot, and his nephew's there. Michaela, she's trying to do CPR, but she can hear a heartbeat, and we can hear the heartbeat, but she doesn't hear a pulse. She can't feel a pulse. And the barber, he had took his nephew in when the nephew's mother passed away. He was a sick kid. And the money that this thief, he was on drugs, some type of drugs. The money that this thief druggie took was the money that the uncle was going to use to renovate the barber shop, and give it to his nephew. Well, when they get down to the police station, the nephew sees dude, and dude is clearly like, fiending for whatever drug of his choice is, probably heroin. Shout out to Omar Duvall looking from the wire, but like he's tweaking, shaking and twitching and looking very suspicious, but he can't cut him out, and he can't point him out. But I was just like, he sees the dude, clearly he knows this is the dude, but I was like, please do not try to take justice into your own hand, because now you're gonna be behind bars because you was like, okay, you killed my uncle, I'm not going to point you out, I'm gonna kill you myself. We ain't going through this whole you going through trial or anything. I'm gonna do it myself. I was like, I just did not want that for him. Michaela, she has dinner with Jared, and I cannot remember her best friend's name, but Jared's wife, and they're sitting there joking, having a good time, and talking about how when Evie was in school, she wore high heel shoes, and this bully wrote "no slut" on her locker instead of telling who it was. She just met with him after school and like beat him up. She didn't want justice; she wanted revenge, and that got Michaela thinking about Carlos. Like Carlos knew who this dude was, but didn't want to point him out. So she goes over there to find him and realizes that he kept the gun that the perp used, and he was going to use said gun to kill that perp. You know, dude was on drug that was twitching it, stole money from his uncle. He was going to use that gun on that dude, and Michaela gets over there and like tells him, no, this is not the way to do it. No, you can't take matters into your own hand. Just don't do it. Like, no, you're going to like ruin your life as well. I accidentally took a life while I was driving, and like I'm still struggling with that, and I can't imagine doing it on purpose, like intentionally killing somebody. So no, don't do that to yourself, Carlos. Just don't do that to yourself. Ben and Sanvi confront Fiona. She's having a lecture. Ben and Sanvi was in the audience, and she's like, "I've been waiting for you," or some creepy messages he said. And they were basically like, "We know what you've been up to. 11 of the passengers that were on the plane, they've gone missing, they've been experimented on, and I know you are working with the people who are responsible for this." Like, y'all, she says, "I don't know what y'all talking about. Like, I was contacted by a nonprofit interested in funding my mind-body research, and their name is the Singularity Project." Well, when Ben earlier was going through the files, he saw an SP file and he couldn't get access to it, but he knew something was up. So Ben, he managed to download. He got back to work. He was able to manage because he had went to a poker game and like kind of like, you know, made friends with some people. Was, you know, talking to a dude who had access to these files. Kind of spilled coffee on him and was able to get into the man's files and download some information. But the only thing is, Vance had been watching all the text messages he's had been doing between him and Sanvi, and I guess him and Michaela, and him and whoever. Like, we know this dude knows some information, so we're going to be tracking what he's doing. So he's trying to get the file out of the job, but they do random checks. You know, this is a Fortune 500 company. You know, we're going to screen everybody coming and going, and we just can't have y'all just out here stealing files and information. And while he was in line, he gets an unknown person text him like, "Get out of line and go to the left." It's Vance, and he's like, "I know what you up to, bruh. Don't do it. Go ahead and hand the downloaded information over to me." And I was like, "No, we need this to find Marko." The man who killed the barber, was holding him, but like they needed the cell, and they didn't have any evidence that he committed this crime, so they had to let him go. So Michaela and Jared, they're like going around trying to find like, where is he at? He may be long gone. But like she's like hearing like this, her heart starts racing. The same thing happened to her earlier when she was trying to give the barber man CPR. And she's like, okay, my heart is racing. This must be a sign. I'm not getting the voice now. I'm getting the heartbeat. So she's like, go down this way. Now, the killer, he had seen this older gentleman going to the ATM. And it's like, okay, this is the easy target. He's older. So he breaks a bottle and decides, I'm going to rob this man. See, this is why I don't like going to the ATM. I don't like going to the bank in general unless it's like I need to. Like, I'd rather go inside the bank and go to the ATM inside of the bank instead of going outside, because I'm paranoid somebody's going to try to walk up and bust me over top of the head. But the older man, the killer man, drugged out killer man, he has this older man up against the wall, broken bottle up to his neck, and he's like, no, this is all the money I have. Michaela pops up and is like, knocks the dude over and was able to arrest him. And Jared is like looking like, okay, maybe what you've been talking about is true, that you're getting all these signs, because he was thinking she was going crazy at one point. So Michaela, she goes to Carlos to let them know that we found a man who's like, I didn't, identify him, and he could have been out here killing somebody else. And she hears the heartbeat again. It's just like, I know you don't hear this. And she goes over and she sees Evie's picture on the wall. And she's like, you know Evie? He's like, yes, I told you I was a sick child. I had congestive heart failure. And Evie was my donor. I was like, oh my goodness. See, like, he wouldn't be here if Evie hadn't died. And it's like, kind of like, I don't want to say full circle, but it's like, okay, this is what it was. It was Evie's heartbeat that was drawing her to Carlos into this killer. I was like, that, I did not see that coming. I was just trying to figure out what was this heartbeat, what was this meaning? Cal tells Ben, you don't have to worry, that man, he's no longer a bad man. Basically, he's on our side now. Vance, he has the downloaded information, and I guess somebody who works for him is like, okay, we have people standing by, we can bum rush, Ben at any time and get this information. He's like, nope, he was clean, he didn't have known him. I'm guessing he doesn't know who to trust inside the government organization, because every organization they've gone to, like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you ain't got, I don't know what you're talking about. So he's like, maybe even people in his own office he doesn't know, and like doesn't know if they're people to trust. So he's just keeping this between him right now. And Michaela looks on the refrigerator and sees a picture that Cal drew of Carlos like a few days ago with like a heart. Like it was Carlos with Evie's heart. I'm like, okay, this is a sign now. Like, I don't know if they're going to be like, if Cal's going to give them like whatever his drawings are, or these are the people that need to help. I don't know if this is like a one-time thing. How did Cal know about Carlos? I don't know, but I am really, really enjoying this show, you guys. So that was basically a gist. I'm everything before you was going to do that, especially if you're new to my channel. Welcome, comment, subscribe, make sure your notifications are on. If you're already subscribers, thank you. Comment, welcome back. This is Lady T signing off. Have a good one.